Okay, let's run through this review here real quick and clean up any misconceptions that there might be. Okay, you can't get much more simple than just adding things. The only thing that you might miss is distributing these negatives across there. So that's really negative 8ab to the fourth and negative 7a4b3, and then that's positive 4a2b3. So as long as you don't mess that up, there's not much going on here. Now you just find like terms. Oh, I guess I could just start with this one. There's a b, and that's it. So that's going to be by itself. So I'm just, that one, so where should I put the answers? How about 12b? That one's done. There's a a4b3. There's an a4b3. Looks like that's it. So negative 14 and negative 7 is negative 21 a4b3s. So that one's, those two are out. Then I've got a b4. Looks like that's it. So minus 8ab4. That one's done. And then I've got a squared b3. There's another a squared b3, so positive 4 and minus 5 will be negative 1 of those a squared b3s. Those are gone, and then there's this one left, negative 11a4b3. Oops, it looks like that should have gone with this one over here. So the a4b3 should have went with these, so negative 11 and negative 21 makes negative 32 of them. So looks like I've got 12b minus 32a4b3 minus 8ab4 minus 1a squared b3. Now usually you put these in order from alphabetically highest order down. So usually you put this one first. So negative 32a4b3, and then the next highest alphabetical a would be this one, so then it would be minus 1 a squared b3. So you go down by the first letter of the alphabet, and then there's an a to the first. That's that one, and then it finishes with a to the nothing. So that would be it in order. Okay, multiplying. See, I don't even really know why this is in this section. That's 8b squared. There's 20b. There's 6 more. And then the last one is 15. So we have 8b squared plus 26b plus 15. Again, real simple. If you got to take it times all 3 of them, fine. Take it times all 3 of them. 5 times 8 is 40x to the third. 5 times negative 1 will be negative 5x squared, and 5 times 6 is 30. And now we got to do the negative 5 times. So negative 5, negative 5, negative 5. So negative 5 times 8 is negative 40x squared. I'm just going to line them up because those are going to add together. Negative 5 times negative x is negative 5x, and negative 5 times 6 is minus 30. And now I'll just add them up. So the 40x to the third was done. There's 45x squareds. And we have 25x's and minus 30. Okay, 4 is just more of the same, only now this is going to have 9 pieces. So 6 times everything. So 6 times 8 is 48k to the fourth. 6 times negative k is negative 6k to the third. 6 times 5 is 30k squared. Then I'll take the negative 3 times everything. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24k to the third. Negative 3 times negative k is positive 3k squared. And negative 3 times 5 is minus 15k. And then I got to take the 8 times everybody. So 8 times 8 is 64k squared. 8 times negative k is negative 8k, and 8 times 5 is 40. So when I end up adding up all of that stuff, I've got 48k to the fourth. And these are minus 30k to the third. And then all of this, 33 plus 64, how much is that? 97k squared. And then here it looks like negative 23k and then plus 40. And this one right here, you could just do it the old way, but I do see that it's a plus and a minus, so there's going to be no middle term, but you don't really even need to care, because there's 3 times 3 is 9n squared, 3 times negative 7 is negative 21n, and here's the positive 21n that makes it go away, and then 7 times negative 7 is negative 49, so those add up to 0, so 9n squared minus 49. And you could just say 8b minus 5 times another 8b minus 5 and do it again, but it's always the first one squared. Then it's double the middles. You multiply the middles together. 8 times 5 is negative 40, and then double it, so that'll be negative 80. And then it's the last one squared, so plus 25. Square, double, square. Okay, then one of the first interesting things we probably dealt with was Pascal's theorem, binomial theorem things here. Pascal's triangle, 1, 1, 1. It's easy to build. So start out with this little triangle. Now in between there, 1 plus 1 is 2. And then in between there is 3. In between there is 3. And then 1 plus 3 is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6, 3 plus 1 is 4. So this is the fourth level right there, which is the one that we need. We need the fourth level. Okay, so they want the coefficient. That means the number in front of it. So it's Pascal, then it's first, then it's last. Okay, so let's see. Pascal 14641. I was just reading the instructions. 14641. So 14641. The first is the n. N, 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 and the last is the negative 2. Now group the negative because the negative's going to matter. And then you go highest power down. So we start with the 4. So that's to the fourth, to the third, to the second, to the first, to the 0. And then the other way around, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And see what we've got here. Now what it wants is the coefficient of the n term. See, this is going to be 1 times n to the fourth times 1. So that's going to be 1n to the fourth. This is going to be 4 times negative 2, so that's negative 8n to the third. This is going to be 6. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, so 6 times 4 is 24n squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, that's all negative 8 times 4, so that's negative 32n. That's the one they want. They want that term with the n on it, so the answer here is negative 32. There's the coefficient of term n. So you didn't really have to do them all. We could have just done this one. Okay, so here they want it from m, we'll just do the one that they want this time, m squared n. So now it wants the third level. Okay, this is the 0 level, 0 row, 1 row, 2 row, 3 row. It's always the second number, 1, 3, 3, 1. So I'm going to go Pascal, first, last. 1, 3, 3, 1. Okay, here's the first right here. So m, 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 m. The last is negative 4n. Package it so the power gets to it. Negative 4n, negative 4n, and negative 4n. Okay, highest power going down. So we start with the 3. The third, to the second, to the first, to the 0, to the 0, to the first, to the second, to the third. They want m squared n. That's going to be this one, m squared n. So really all we have to do is find the coefficient of this one. So that's going to be negative 4 to the first, so that's negative 4 times 3. So that would be negative 12 m squared n. So the coefficient in front of that one is the negative 12. Okay, here they want us to find the fourth term. That means there's the first term, second term, third term, fourth term. They just want the fourth one down. So this is to the third again. So that Pascal is 1, 3, 3, 1. The first is x. And the last is negative 4. This is the first term, the second term, the third term, and the fourth term. They really just want this one. That's what they mean by the term. They want the fourth term. Okay, well let's see. Maximum power, 3, 2, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So this means negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. That's negative 16 times 1 times 1. So there it is. The fourth term is just negative 16. Now, if they would have wanted the third term, term means the whole thing. So the third term, negative 4 times negative 4, that's 16 times 3 is 48. So this would be 48x. So the third term is 48x. So the term is the whole thing. The coefficient is just the number. But it was just a number here because the term went away. Okay, so third term. Pascal, 1, 3, 3, 1. First, n, 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 n. Last, 4, 4, 4, 4. First term, second term, third term. They want this one. Okay, the highest power, third power, second power, first power, 0 power, 0, 1, 2, 3. So if we want this one, here's 16 times 3, so that's 48n. So the third term in that thing would be 48n. Okay, now they want us to expand this one completely. Okay, Pascal, first, last. Pascal for this one is 14641 because I need the fourth level. 14641. First is 3y. And the last is 1. Okay, so I'm going to start with the fourth power now. Get all of it. All of it's to the fourth, all of it's to the third, all of it's to the second, all of it's to the first, and all of it's to the 0. So that's 1 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. So this is 81y to the fourth. 1 times 81y to the fourth times 1 is 81y to the fourth. Okay, 3 times 3 is 27. 27 times 4 is 108. So there's 27 times 4. That's 108y to the third. I didn't bother putting the powers on all of these ones because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, they're still all just times 1. Okay, this one, 3 times 3 is 9 times 6. That's 54y to the second. Here I have 3 times 4, that's 12y, and anything to the 0 power is 1, so this is 1 times 1 times 1. So the answer to this whole thing is 81y to the fourth plus 108y to the third plus 54y to the second plus 12y plus 1. That's this thing multiplied out 4 times. Okay, so this one's going to be very similar. Too bad they should have put a negative on here. Pascal, first, last. 14641. 2x as a package, 2x as a package, 2x, 2x, and 2x to the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 0 power, and then a bunch of 1s to the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 power. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So this is 16 times 1 times 1. So that's 16x to the 4. Here I have 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 4. 8 times 4 is 32, x to the 3rd. 2 times 2 is 4 times 6, so 24, x to the 2nd. This is 2 times 4, so 8x. And this is a 1 times a 1 times a 1. So we have 16x to the 4 plus 32x to the 3 plus 24x to the 2 plus 8x plus 1. All right, divide. R to the 4 minus 6r to the 3 plus 10r to the 2nd plus 2r minus 38, all divided by r minus 4. The idea here is to make the first one the first one. So r times r to the 3rd will do that. R3 times R4 is R4. R3 times negative 4 is minus 4r to the 3rd. Minus 4r to the 3rd. Package it, make sure you put it in brackets because it's now R4 minus R4 is gone. But now we have negative 6 minus minus 4. Negative 6 minus minus 4 is negative 6 plus 4. It's negative 2r to the 3rd. Drop in the next one. I need the first piece to become the first piece. An r times a negative 2r squared will do that. And now multiply it. Negative 2r squared times r is negative 2r to the 3rd. And negative 2r squared times negative 4 is positive 8r to the 2nd. That was the 2nd right there. Okay, package it together and subtract. A negative 2 plus 2 is 0, and 10 minus 8 is 2r squared. Drop the next one, plus 2r. Okay, I'm trying to get the first piece to be the first piece, and r times a 2r will do it. So take that 2r. 2r times r is 2r squared. 2r times negative 4 is minus 8r. Package it and subtract it. 2 minus 2 is gone. 2 minus minus 8, so 2 plus 8 is 10r. And drop the last one, minus 38. So I'm trying to get the first piece to become 10r. So r times 10 will do it. So I need a positive 10. 10 times r is 10r. And 10 times negative 4 is minus 40. Package it and subtract it. 10 minus 10 is gone. 38 minus minus 40 is positive 2. So we have a remainder of 2. I'm just going to leave it like that, and that's good enough. You can just say it's a remainder of 2. Okay, so if I were to do this one, I got 5n to the 3rd plus 6n to the 2nd minus 7n minus 18. And I would like to put into that n plus 1. Trying to get the first piece, so I need a 5n squared. 5n squared times n is 5n to the 3rd, and 5n squared times 1 is 5n squared. Package it and subtract it. 5 minus 5 is 0. 6 minus 5 is n squared. Drop the next one down. Make the first piece the first piece. N times n will make this happen, so I need another n. And multiply. N times n is n squared. N times 1 is n. Package it and subtract it. N minus n is gone. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8. Make the n first piece the first piece. So I need to multiply n times negative 8. Negative 8 times n is negative 8n. Negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Package it and subtract it. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0. Negative 18 plus 8 is negative 10. So we have 5n squared plus n minus 8, remainder negative 10. Okay, let's see about factoring here. Oh, I see that I've got 144. Now this will factor because that and that are half as much of each other, so that should go ahead and do it. There's a couple tricks if you can't quite see what the factors are. You can always fake like you factored even if you used your calculator. Now I'm letting you use your calculator, so there would be no way, let's say you could, it's not going to be 12 and 12 because that's going to add up to 25, and I don't really feel like looking for all of them for 144, let's say. Okay, there's a couple other options. If you wrote the quadratic formula on your calculator, then you can use the quadratic formula. If you are borrowing one of my calculators, I'm going to take it off of there. If you have your own, then you can use the quadratic formula. Here's what you would do if you have your own on the quadratic formula. Put in the 1, the negative 25, and the 144. That's the ABC. 16 and 9. Those are the factors right here. X to the 4 and X to the 4 makes X to the 8. 16 and 9. 16 times 9, sure enough, that's 144. And they're going to add up. If I make, that's 16 and that's 9. If I make them both negative, I get negative 25. So the quadratic formula, see, it didn't give us the factors, it gave us the answers. See, that's going to have an answer of 9. Okay, let's say you haven't, even though I've asked you several times to go down to the